New York City right now is buckling under the weight of the migrant crisis. Tens of thousands of migrants are in New York City and they're going broke. Can New York City even spend billions of dollars anymore? What happens after when all these stores leave and New York City does not have any more money to tax? What's going to happen then? Are people going to lose their pensions like what Chicago's doing? Are migrants going to be homeless instead of in hotels? We don't really know, but long story short, New York City is at a path of destruction. The city is basically destroyed with the amount of stores closing. Thousands of stores in New York City are now gone from.
So, New York is New York. Dreams are made of.
Stop it. Get some help.
New York is seen as one of the greatest states, the Big Apple, the place of dreams, where dreams come true. It's been such held on such a high pedestal in America for such a long time. It's falling apart. It's completely falling apart. I follow this guy. He makes a lot of videos about New York, and I don't know, maybe he's biased, I don't know, but from his point of view and other people's point of view, it's always something every day, whether the crime is skyrocketing, homicides, carjacking, robbery, rape, like it's all skyrocketing in New York because of the soft on crime policies and bills.
Small business owners and workers in New York City say they are fed up with vandalism, violent attacks at a lot of retail stores. They perceive this as a refusal by the city to crack down on shoplifting.
Businesses in New York City are under attack, and that's because the criminals here fear nothing. But things have gotten so bad, store owners are now begging for help, only to find out that the very government that's supposed to protect them has sided with the criminals for some reason.
Mayor Eric Adams says he wants to bring gun-detecting body scanners into the city's subway system.
The devices look like metal detectors, but they're not. Instead, they use electromagnetic pulses and cameras to identify firearms at some.
So this sounds cool, but how are body scanners going to end New York City's crime wave when the military and police have been down here for weeks trying to do just that without a ton of success?
New York has been losing millions of dollars as a result of retail theft, and New York City saw the largest surge in shoplifting since 2019 than any other U.S. city, according to a study.
Malls, supermarkets, discount stores, all shutting down because shoplifting here is now so bad it is a $4.4 billion part of the state's economy, and it's only getting worse.
Tonight, a massive retail theft ring bust in New York, leading to 41 people arrested.
Across the country, shoplifting and organized retail theft cost retailers an estimated $69 billion a year.
Box after box are removed from the home. Those Ulta Beauty products ending up on an Amazon digital storefront.
More than 80% of retail workers say that they are worried about an active shooter coming into their workplace.
We're back to the early 90s. They feel like the law protects them, like there are no consequences.
At a time when retail workers are routinely dealing with armed or violent criminals, their state assembly member is blocking an effort to create stiffer penalties for violent criminals that target retail workers.
The sheer volume of stolen goods fills a truck.
This is just one of several U-Hauls that is full of merchandise suspected to be stolen.
Body parts were found all over Long Island. They had 4 suspects. They let them go. And now they're out there still. So what is the deal here? It sounds insane to me.
Dismembering a corpse and hiding a corpse after dismembering it. Not bail eligible. Not a serious crime. I'm not even kidding, guys. Listen, if being on the left means supporting this, then I'm not on the left, and I'm okay with that.
And then they have the what is it called? The must house policies when it comes to immigrants or illegal immigrants. It's a sanctuary city, right? Okay, sanctuary city and they have laws where they must house you for at least 30 days or 2 months if you have a family. It's letting anybody and everybody in. I mean, Texas has a little bit to do with that, and all these other Midwestern states who are just sick and tired of the giant migration and busing more illegal immigrants to New York. Because it's easy to say, like, yeah, open borders when you're not a border state or border town or a border city. So I think I think Texas wanted to give New York the reality of what their policies are actually doing. It's just been a massive flood of illegal immigrants and migrants into New York, and I'm sure a good portion of them are good people who just want a better lives for their families, but it's really not Americans' job to house everyone and to help the entire globe. But maybe people would get that message if America stopped being the world's place. Like maybe if America stopped meddling in everybody's business, people will stop thinking it is America's problem. And so I do think a good portion of them are good people who are just trying to find a better life for themselves and their kids, and I don't blame them. It's funny how America is the worst country in the world, but these people are literally risking their lives or paying thousands, because it's not just right over the border illegal immigrants. It's some people from China and parts of Africa who've come a long way to be in America.
Today, hundreds of black migrants, many from African countries, showed up at City Hall demanding better treatment. They say they just want a job and basic shelter.
And Chopper 2 was overhead this afternoon, showing the large group outside City Hall just how many people this issue is impacting.
How to find jobs.
Did you work in China?
I work in the factory, but...
Now, I'm not saying that China is going to invade the United States, but if we were to defend Taiwan, you have to think that this is a part of some plan or strategy.
So costing lots of money and lots of bodily harm, because we all know that not only are children and women and children at the risk of being trafficked when they're crossing the border illegally into America, but they're also at risk of being assaulted by the same people who are promising to take them to the land of dreams, by the smugglers. Yes, they're flooding into America and causing lots of trouble. Again, the majority are good people, but even if they are good people, they're still causing a problem by taking up the beds and space and housings and shelters and luxury apartments from American homeless people or people who are struggling in America. They're taking those things away from them. So even if they don't mean to, even if they're coming over here with the best intentions just to make a better life for themselves, they're still somewhat directly or indirectly causing problems for American citizens.
I'm homeless. I work a full-time job, 40 hours, and can't pay to live here. How the f*** are y'all gonna bring somebody else here?
New York City moving ahead with a plan to give migrants debit cards loaded with cash.
There's been a firestorm of controversy since word about the program first leaked.
So the controversy comes from the fact that asylum seekers are now getting a higher level of assistance from New York than anybody else.
And then you have other migrants who are causing issues. Either A, they came over here with nefarious intentions regardless. They were criminals, they were gang members who are taking that crime from where they came from and bringing it over to America, or other people who have come to America and are struggling and they can't financially take care of themselves, so they're turning to crime to do so. And there's always a choice. You don't have to turn to crime, but that's what they're doing.
8 migrants are in ICE custody this morning after a raid where police discovered illegal guns and drugs in the house where they were squatting. All of this happening just steps away from an elementary school.
Surveillance video shows the moment 4 NYPD officers are seen running in the direction of a multifamily home. They were responding to a call about a man with a gun. They chased one man into the basement.
Authorities say they were part of a heavily armed group of migrants allegedly selling drugs after taking over this multi-family house.
The problem is that there were squatters. There were a lot of people, a lot of young people, a lot of motorcycles. They were a nuisance in the neighborhood.
The suspect who prompted that 911 call that set all of this off, it's this guy on your screen. He was accused of shooting a man last year.
The 8 suspects face gun, drug, and child endangerment charges. All but 2 of them were released without bail.
If you don't know that the state of New York's justice system has collapsed, you don't want to know.
Police say this is one part of one migrant gang, and there are others.
Assaults and robberies. Both are rising now that organized gangs are operating in New York City, and police say there could be hundreds of criminals out there, and they have no way of stopping them all.
They walked across the border for a better life, but now they are walking out in handcuffs after police say their American dream was to commit crime.
Police say a gang terrorized New Yorkers, robbing them and then hacking their phones to drain bank accounts of hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Surveillance video shows the moment 2 masked men broke into the back of a Bronx bodega, walked up to the register, and made off with $100,000 cash.
I think all the crime is getting worse right now. I mean, especially with the bikes and the mopeds and the scooters, everyone's riding around.
Police say this is one part of one migrant gang, and there are others.
Not to mention, the cost of living is skyrocketing.
A new study out today says the true cost of living has gotten so high, half of the families in the 5 boroughs do not have enough income to make ends meet.
For the last 50 years, New York City had laws that forced landlords to build affordable apartments. But those laws have expired, affordable apartments are vanishing, and the city's leaders don't seem interested in doing anything about it. Why is that?
It's a city with more than 8 million people, but the lack of housing supply has led to astronomically high rents.
I received a letter telling me that the rent would be increased 65%.
If you want to live like worry-free, I'd say like you need to be making six figures.
Your income has to be nearly twice the median to afford rent.
In just the last decade, housing costs skyrocketed by more than 68%, according to a recent report. According to new federal data, a record number of people are now unhoused, more than 653,000, a 12% population increase.
Over 8 million Americans are behind on rent, and 2.3 million experienced a rent increase of more than $500.
And so when you talk to actual people and you ask them why they're so angry about the economy, they're angry because prices are so much higher than they used to be.
If I did not sign a lease, then it would be a $600 increase.
How did that feel?
I panicked. I absolutely panicked, thinking I'm going to have to move now.
A growing national problem that could take decades to fix.
The cost of living is skyrocketing. Rent is constantly going up. People can't afford to live there anymore, so just causing more homelessness. Whether again, right now there's just no room because of the mass migration. There's no beds available, which causing more scams and corruption because people are opening illegal properties and giving them to either the migrants or homeless people illegally. And yeah, it's just a lot. It's just a lot going on. You know, they had to bring down the National Guard to the subway because so much crime was happening and people were being brutalized. The random white women being punched in the face, that was a thing. Talked about it on this channel. Check out that video. But when people are confronted about their horrible handling of New York when it comes to politics, policies, but also when it comes to the crime and soft on crime policies, what do they say? Well, they do what they always do. They scream racism.
The real focus should be on our national government that's saying, why are you doing this to New York? Check out what they're doing. They're doing it to New York. They're doing it to Chicago. They're doing it to Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. They're doing it to Houston. What is the same in all those cities? All black mayors. All black mayors.
Stop. Just stop it. Stop. No. Just stop it.
Racism is the problem. If it wasn't because of racism, none of this would be happening. Of course, I don't know what's going on in New York right now. I feel like it kind of started right before COVID, the downfall of New York, but like it really seemed like it messed up during COVID because of the very long lockdowns and the harsh COVID policies they had. Yeah, like New York has been suffering. Again, there's conspiracy theories that this is all by design. What for?
Two things are destroying America: record homelessness and record rents, but nobody in charge seems to be doing anything about it. Why is that? For the last 50 years, New York City had laws that forced landlords to build affordable apartments, but those laws have expired, affordable apartments are vanishing, and the city's leaders don't seem interested in doing anything about it. Why is that?
A new study out today says the true cost of living has gotten so high, half of the families in the 5 boroughs do not have enough income to make ends meet. They need some kind of assistance.
Well, that explains why people are leaving, but what's going to happen when everybody who's not rich vanishes from New York City? And why is it that nobody who's in charge here seems to care?
I guess they're taking New York back to the good old 80s, you know what I mean, where there was lots of crimes and crackheads on the streets and the housing market, it was really low because nobody wanted to live there. They're taking it back to the good old days. Maybe they were just nostalgic and they like the 80s. Of course, there's still probably great parts of New York and there's still probably great things about New York, but I don't know if the citizens of New York is still going to keep allowing the degradation, just disintegration of their country because of comments like this.
Would you rather have open borders or a wall?
Give me open borders, because you know what? You put a wall up, that's saying that you don't want nothing to do with anybody else. Open up the borders. We're here for you. You're here for us. Okay, let's go ahead and be one as we're supposed to be.
Or if the people of New York will finally step up and start to vote better policies in, or stop voting people in or pushing horrible policies that is destroying the great state of New York, the Big Apple. We'll see in the next few years, I guess. Let me know what you guys think of what's going on in New York and the policies and the people running New York and the migration and the housing crisis and all that good stuff. Let me know in the comment section below. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the bell to get the notification when I do upload. All that really does help with the algorithm, guys. If you'd like to support this channel, you can donate. My PayPal and my Cash App link is in the description box below and also in the comment section. You can super thanks, and you guys have an amazing good You guys have an amazing, beautiful day. Bye.
New York City moving ahead with a plan to give migrants debit cards loaded with cash.
There's been a firestorm of controversy since word about the program first leaked.
So